right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
How we doing?
Answer me a question real quick. Where did the week go?
Oh, well, where's the first 2 months of the year gone?
My. I just feel like we signed off a week ago and here we are back again.
Exactly. No, that's true.
It's a good thing, no?
Oh yeah.
Right? We're all feeling good. Hey, there's Joe Stinger. He got he had some Facebook issues today, but I guess he's all back up and running. So good to hear from you, Joey.
Yeah.
I think he got hacked, if I read that correctly. But anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he get the rain too down there?
I don't know. I know we got plenty of it up here. We can send some down there.
Exactly.
My gosh.
Good day to be a duck.
Wow. But anyway, this Fan's View, and this is our last home show for a little bit, because we're at over at Buffalo Wild Wings next Wednesday.
Yes.
With a couple of our old friends, Dickie Knowles, 1980 World Series champ, Milt Thompson, 2008 World Series champ, and he also was on the 93 team, right, John?
He was. Yep.
So I'm curious to pick their brain about parades and championships and what this new Philly squad has to do to follow up the Eagles this year.
Exactly. Especially Dickie knows because he had that 80 with all the teams were hot.
Right.
How it feeds the other teams.
Yep.
I'm hoping.
Yep. That was a very interesting year. So we'll get into that next week with those guys. And then I am off to Florida, and I just found out an hour ago that Lauren is also off to Florida that same day. No?
I am, but you didn't just find that out.
I did. No, I did. I didn't know that. I knew you were coming down, but I did not know when. So let the party begin.
Yeah. Right. Last we heard was we were just winging it. We didn't know what was going on.
Right. Thank you, John.
No, that's not true. Last week when we talked, I told you that the plan was to leave the night of the 13th. I think maybe you just weren't listening.
What was that?
What else is new?
What? Not listen?
What else is new, right? I'll vouch for that. I got all kinds of people chirping at me. I thought there was a whole lot of, Tony's got to finish up and, he's got to do this and do that,
I mean, that's still correct, but right now the plan is to leave the night of.
There you go.
See, so it is. So the plans are still not 100%.
And be in FLA by Friday sometime.
I'm not 100% sure till I'm in the car on the way there.
Well, that's
yeah. There you go. Yep. So
I don't know what she said. I couldn't hear her.
Yeah, she said that Wally is checking in from Florida.
Oh,
there you go.
So
we're Sean is here.
We got we're ready.
Hoping to be setting up a spot for when you guys are down there.
Well, that's the game plan. There's a couple of spots in play. That's where I was going with this.
Everybody's bidding for this Fan's View.
Kevin Kramer, he did the road trip. He's first game in Clearwater is tomorrow. Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome, good safe trip for Kevin Kramer. Wally, he ain't never seen a drink he didn't like. He's been all over the beach for the past couple of days. Good for him. We're jealous.
We are. You guys will be there for 2 weeks, right? 2 shows that you'll be doing down there.
Is that right? 2 shows?
Only one for me.
Yeah, 1 for Lauren, and I guess 2 for me. I don't know. I'll take 1 at a time.
There you go.
One at a time. So we'll try to figure. Ruh-roh.
No, I think Lauren just giving Anthony time to fill in there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Anyway, plenty of time to talk about, us Florida going peeps. Could we get Kyle Pitts from Atlanta in a trade? Man, everybody's all eagled up, man. This is great. This is good stuff. So without further ado, Johnny, why don't you, it's been a while. Why don't you get us all fixed up for fantasy basketball, fantasy hockey? I hear we got some new leaders on the board.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shaking and moving going on. We got everything's all updated. The fantasy football is finally updated for the whole 109 players. That scores are all updated. We got hockey and football are both now updated as well on their spreadsheet, so everybody can check out everything there. We got for our fantasy hockey, Cheryl is still kicking butt. You got to give it to her. She's kicking everybody's butt this year right now. So I think Tony needs to get a little bit of a lesson because he's not even on the leaderboard here right now. But we got a leader there up at number 6 now. I believe she is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 6th spot. She's up to 6th. Lauren, the one who was negative towards this fantasy hockey is in 6th place there. So
amazing.
She's kicking butt. She's hanging right in there. And Kevin Burgess is up there. So we got a few injuries that
can we go back to that board for a minute because I thought I saw another familiar name.
Yeah, there's one right there. Cracked the top 20 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cracked into the top 20. So
yeah. All right, we can get rid of that.
You're hanging tough right there. So you're doing well.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I'm sending out information for everybody to get their injured players switched out so they keep up with their things. And of course, with our spreadsheets, it's easy. We don't miss points. So if you missed a week or whatever, it's not too bad. But with the Four Nations series going, there hasn't been much missed. There's been one guy. Was it Kreidel? Was it? Because I think is one of the guys that have been
Kreider,
I think it is. Yeah. And I think I just saw Jack Hughes as well.
Oh yeah, he got all banged up.
Did he?
Yeah, he got all banged up.
Yeah, so he's the next one that we have to get attention to for those who had Jack Hughes. But then our basketball, we're going here, and again, she was negative towards this whole thing, and she's in 4th spot right now. 4th spot. So
I'm on fire.
Yeah, Tyler's jumped up there too. He's had a good week, so I don't know if he's studying up at school or if he's trying to catch it up on the leaderboard here.
There's no studying at school anymore.
I don't think there is either. Everything's online with their tests, and it's all open books. It's garbage. They're just stealing money up there. We're just giving them money to pay bills, and everybody gets an A. Here, you get an A. I get an A. It's like Oprah just handing out A's to everybody. As long as you get your bills paid, you get an A.
Yep.
And you at least show up. It's crazy.
Yep. You get bonus points for showing up.
Exactly. Yeah. You get a 5.0 grade point average if you show up. So. All
right. So Wally is meeting with the owner of Coco's tonight. And really all we need is probably an electric outlet to plug our computer into. We've got everything else, right, Lauren?
I mean, the sound continues to be your biggest problem.
Well, I'm trying to get Wally to get us the back room there, which I think would be our best scenario.
Well, that if you have the headphones to hook it into your
that are our earbuds.
Yeah, your earbuds will help with the sound anyway.
Right.
Right, but you just have to worry about how loud it's going to be in there, and then people being able to hear you back as well.
Right.
So,
Wi-Fi password, that would help Wally, but Lauren's got a hotspot, so I mean we could always use that as well, right?
Yeah, that's an option, especially if the Wi-Fi signal. I mean, it seems like it's maybe locked if there's a password, so not everybody's in on it, but. Yeah, depending on the strength of it, what else is hooked up to it. Being able to hear is the biggest thing. That's all.
Well, of course, yeah. That and you get you get your Wi-Fi, and then just like you said, your headphones. Like you said, I guess you're worried more, Lauren, is people in the place hearing you.
Correct. Yes. The background noise in the bar,
right,
is the biggest problem. Yeah.
Right.
Just get everybody to log on to This Fan's View, and they can go on, build up the fan base there down in Florida.
Yeah, no problem.
They can listen to
you're no fun. What do you mean? No day drinking for Carl that day? Wait a minute. What's wrong with that?
Well, you have trouble making it on time for the show.
Well, that's because I was held up in Dunedin and I couldn't get back. So.
It was Anthony's fault because it was too cold that day, so that you guys had to go to the bar, is what we were told.
How did it become your fault?
I don't know. I didn't understand.
Yeah. Remember it was cold and how cold it was in Dunedin, and we had to go find sunshine to get warm?
Yeah, it was windy. I don't know if that was last year, Dad.
I thought we were sitting in the stands. It was up high. It was like a couple years
ago. It was.
I
think that was maybe 2 years ago at this point. But anyways.
It all blends in. It's all the same.
It does.
But well, you gotta have. You should have had the guy listen to the show. He could hear what we were doing. It made it even better. Get the words. Word out to him.
It's all good. We'll figure it out. If we can get in that back room and have some fun. What Lamborghini time? What's Scotty Black talking about?
Lombardi.
Well, Lombardi time. I'm sorry. I thought he was buying a new Lamborghini.
Yeah,
I think he might have missed the last two shows when we talked Eagles.
Yeah, we're going back to back this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's kind of calm our enthusiasm for going to Clearwater.
Since I'm not going, so.
I'll try. But you know what? I don't want to hear it. There's no crying. Stop.
Johnny, when's the last time you were down? You went. I remember. Was it COVID? The year of COVID?
I went and we just left.
Right
before COVID, because you guys went down right after us.
I remember that. We never made it in 2020.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because we were supposed to leave the day. Once again, we had nothing planned, and we were supposed to leave that day. And for some reason, we just never booked it. We never booked the hotel. We never booked where we were staying, and we figured we were driving. And then the next thing I knew, it got canceled. So we never made it.
Yeah, it was a strange year, but yeah, it was all my fault that it got canceled. I guess first time going down, and COVID happens after that.
Definitely.
But yeah,
all right.
It was a good time then when we did that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's recap a couple of things over the past couple of days with our Super Bowl champion Birds.
Anything happening?
I mean, Howie is stealing every headline he possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing because the Phillies got shellacked again today.
Well, I think all the other Phillies teams are helping. Glad that Howie's doing what he's doing because it takes all the pressure off of them.
Yeah, right. Right. But so recapping since I guess Sunday into Monday, big play Slay gets released, gets cut. So they pick up, a bunch of money there for the salary cap. And then our boy Bradbury, he gets released. So there's a whole bunch more money for Howie to play with. Who am I missing, John? Was there another casualty?
No other casualty. They were the two spots that opened up cap space, and then of course the big one that was a little bit of a shocker yesterday. Which is good. Everybody wants to make it out that they overpaid, but the Phillies or the Eagles they're doing signing an extension to Saquon Barkley. Saves them.
I was really shocked that officially came out that they saved $7 million by making that move.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Howie is the king of the capology.
Oh no, he definitely is. We've always said that about him, and it was always just a matter of him, working it out to picking players at the time was where he had some problems, and lately that's been not a problem.
Yeah, so you gotta give credit out to his staff and his guys that work under him. Especially some of these smaller schools, Toledo, Iowa. I mean,
right.
They're not, it's not the SEC, it's not the Big Ten, it's not, but then, Saquon gets his money, and today we heard that his family was going through the airport on the way to the Bahamas, so he wasted little time getting out of town and going on vacay.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Good for him.
That's why he needed that extra money so he can go on to the trip to Bahamas.
Good for him. Good for him. And then I guess the shocker today, is the re-signing of Zach Bond. 3 years, $51 million. He played his cards right. He signed a 1-year deal to come here, and he bet on himself, right?
Yeah, and he won. It's a good thing to see.
Wally lost his wife.
No comment. I get in trouble. I get in trouble.
Did the dingo eat his wife? It's a Seinfeld thing.
You know that reference?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I think he said the dingo ate his wife.
Oh yeah.
Elaine said it would. It was I lost my fiance. Well, I don't know where he's at. Well, the dingo ate your fiance. She said.
Mm-hmm. John, I don't think I knew you were a Seinfeld guy.
Oh yeah, I love that show. That was good.
We watch that probably every day in this house.
At least an episode.
Oh yeah. Seinfeld's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So what's Joey talking about here?
Rumor. Boston radio. They got nothing going on up there. So
yeah.
They're trying to lasso AJ Brown and bring him up to the Patriots.
So that they're realistically looking at him then if they're talking about it, right? I mean,
you know how sports radio works.
Yeah. I think it was. I think before he came to Philadelphia, they wanted him as well. Before, so I guess that's why they're, thinking, because he's getting, towards the end of his contract as well, and
what's he got, another year, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So
yeah.
He's going to get paid. We're not worried about that. Boston's just dreaming. They see that there's a new wave of trophies coming this way.
New wave of what?
Trophies.
Oh, trophies.
Trophies coming this way.
Gotcha.
But it's with Vrabel, the coach, Vrabel being there
down in Tennessee, all that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they're putting two together, but it's not getting 4.
No, I would be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not
restructuring Dak's contract. Well, they better restructure something because what's he making? $60, $80 million a year?
It's like 80 million. Yeah, he's like making $80 million. It's
holy cow,
insane. But yeah,
right,
I think it's huge.
Let's circle back to our birds with you've got new deals in place for Saquon. You got a new deal for Zach Braun. What do you think could possibly be next? Can we try to figure this out, or there's no figuring out what Howie's going to do?
He's planning for the big move because now he locked it all up now with Bond, being here. The cap went up a lot, and I'm sure Howie's smart enough to figure out how to make Bond's number not so big, and then the big fish is going to be coming. Number 95. Number 95 is coming here. That
Myles Garrett guy, is that who we're talking about?
Something like that. Yeah.
That guy.
Yep. I believe he's going to be swinging hard at and getting him.
That would, this all is unofficial until like Monday, right? Nothing's official till Monday.
Nothing's official till Monday. Garrett's not going to be until probably the June 1st. After Bradbury's money.
Okay.
That'll be a later thing because I mean, unless they do it for the draft, if Cleveland's not going to get overwhelmed by another team, but yeah, I think he's going to be going for it because I mean that's because you're going to lose Sweat, so there's money coming off the books there as well, technically, the fill spots and stuff. So, just imagine Myles Garrett and Jalen Carter. You're gonna bring back Jerome Brown and Reggie White days all over.
You would have BG money coming off the books as well, right?
Well, right, exactly. It's
so.
And then maybe it's you're going to give up some first round picks, of course, to get them. And the way the Eagles are, what's the difference? It's a first round pick, the last one in the draft, and
well, let me ask you one question. Is there a position of need, one position that they need right now on this team? I mean, we're days removed from winning a Super Bowl, and we're talking about what they need. But is there a spot on the team that you would really need to draft for?
Well, I mean, it's the defensive, pass rusher you're going to need, because if you lose Sweat and you lose Brandon Graham, there's two of your spots, and Bryce Huff didn't work out here. Maybe he's a piece that would be offered. Yeah, exactly, Joe. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you're able to, possibly offer Huff over to Cleveland, as a replacement for Garrett and a couple of, first round picks or whatever, and go from there. I mean, it's and if you have to, again, it's not a huge name, but Kenny Pickett might be a guy that they could use as a starter if they think or backup.
Yeah, he's making a few million, right?
Right. I mean, he might be a guy that they could use since they need quarterback help over there as well.
Plus, probably Tanner McKee's ready to move up to the 2 spot. So
yeah. And if you had to, if they like Tanner McKee better, maybe you throw him in there, if that's, whatever, type of thing. If they think that he could be the guy to be a starting quarterback and be a cheap replacement, type of thing.
So what is edge rusher? I mean, you always need offensive linemen, defensive linemen. You always need the big boys up front for sure.
Exactly.
So what's the talk about Cam Jurgens? Because there's talk about him getting a new deal as well.
Well, he's what, 2 years removed, right? I believe from drafting. He was drafted.
Yeah, but there's talk, I guess, about signing him early.
Of course, yeah, that's how he moved, right? That you're going to extend them a little bit. You're going to want to get him and Jordan Davis, as well, type of thing. If you're going to re-sign him to work on them, it's just a, it's just one of those things because like Shawnee says, edge rusher's a spot to go because it's you're losing a little bit of depth there, and
all right.
So
it's been an exciting week. It's been fun. The rest of Philly sports kind of just it's over there in the corner, kind of like where Howie used to be.
Right.
Hard to fathom that was once a real thing back in Chip Kelly days.
Right. Exactly.
But
the other good thing too.
All right, Tammy's been found. Okay, good. All good. Tammy has been found.
I don't really think she was ever lost.
She was just probably at the bar getting Wally another drink. That's probably what it was.
Or just went to the bathroom. Who knows? But,
just lock up that back room there, Mr. Wally, and you'll be set. And then, you'll be all good.
But the other thing we got to go without saying is that we got to be thankful for Jeff Lurie as well, because without him, a lot of this is impossible either. As good as a GM is how he is, she was lost. Okay.
It's been a long day of day drinking, I'm sure.
She was lost.
I'm sure. But yeah, Jeff Lurie, imagine, from when he came here, had to borrow money, right, from his family to make this whole transition to buy the Eagles, and now he just sold an 1% share for like $8 million or something.
Yeah, it was something insane.
Yeah, crazy, numbers.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing, because without his money being able to paying these guys up front, because there's a lot of other owners that would put that money in their pocket. How he couldn't do the stuff that he could do.
Yep.
But by maneuvering the cap.
Yep,
so
for sure. All right, we're a couple minutes shy of 7:00. Anthony looks bored as heck, so let's talk some baseball. Let's talk some Reading baseball, because every time I see something pop up on the screen, you guys got a new promotion going. You're bringing back all these old timers, to talk about the original fightings. Just a lot of good things going on up there again.
Yeah, we got opening day on the 4th, which is coming quick, like 29 days. So that's I like it when it's mid-April. It's a little bit better, so you have a little bit more time, but it is what it is. And there's like a Hawaiian shirt that day, which is good. And then we're doing a bunch of different promotions, but the Throwback Thursday uniforms are really going over well. People really seem to like those. They're selling a lot of merchandise. Trying to think of what else. We got Shooter McGavin. We got the wrestler Hornswoggle. What else we got going on there? I'm trying to think right now.
Is there a promotion you're most excited for?
I always like wrestling night, even if you don't like the wrestler or who it is. I like just everyone coming together and applause after, having 1,000, 1,500 people in there. That's always fun.
I think people like that Roger Morris.
The bobblehead. Yeah, the Roger Maris bobblehead will be good. And then I don't think we've announced who is going in the Hall of Fame yet, because we have to make sure that a couple of the other people that are being inducted can be there that night. But Hall of Fame night should be good with the Roger Maris bobble and his family there, and then fireworks. That should be a huge night. And then some of the things I'm not as into, but other people are. Like the Taylor Swift night is huge for.
Are you guys doing that again?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Any new food? I'm always interested in food. Any new food this year?
We just had a food show. I know where the slushy stand was before. It's expanding, and it's going to be that whole wall where the Bargain Barn was. So that's
oh wow,
right?
Yeah. So the outdoor store is gone. So this is going to be a huge slushy stand. I think there's also like a kids slushy stand in there, I believe, because they have always asked about it, and you can't.
That's true.
They always want slushies, and there's alcohol in all of them, so they couldn't. So now I believe it's a wall of slushies, almost like if you've gone to like Memphis or one of those restaurants and they have like New Orleans, they have all those slushies there. So that'll be good.
Okay.
We have at the third base bar is now going to be Cigar City Brewing, which is great. So from the Tampa area. So they do the High Life beer when you're down in Florida. They're expanding here in the north. So High Life will be at the stadium, and then they're doing a special beer for the ballpark too, a Pilsner, which is nice. And I'm trying to think, honestly, there are a lot of things going on. I just can't remember everyone offhand.
Are you allowed to talk about before?
You don't have one of your scribble sheets, with all your notes and everything.
In my backpack upstairs, I can get it if you want. But no, the promotions are good. There's a day we actually, I think it's neat. I mean, you can do it online at no cost, but there's a day last year where we just had the Pennsylvania Treasury Department here, and they said we just want to do a table on a certain night. And what they were doing is trying to give people their money back. Like, so if the state owes you money because you paid something that you don't know that you owe, whatever, there's a website you can go to and find out if you owe it.
It's like unclaimed
money, unclaimed property, things like that. So they were just here on a random night in I want to say the end of August last year.
I think so.
And I feel like every single person at the stadium went there.
Makes sense.
There was one guy that got like $50-something thousand. Another guy had $20,000 unclaimed. So, one of those early August or late August nights this year, that's going to be the actual promotion. Like we're going to just promote, come and see. So the treasurer,
hysterical.
So the treasurer of the state, who she was here last year, but we didn't overly promote it because we didn't know how it would go. The treasurer of the state of Pennsylvania will be here again on that day. I think it's August 26th, maybe a Tuesday.
Okay.
You just go to the table. I think you give your name. They tell you if the state owes you any money. And sometimes, you don't know a relative, someone passed, they left you money, you don't know, there's no will. And
there's issues where, you've overpaid taxes.
Yeah.
There are different things. Yep.
Yeah. So some of the guys in our office got a few $100. I think
right.
Some guys might have got a couple $1,000, but they put out a press release when we did it. I mean, there was like, I want to say, I forget offhand, but I want to say near $100,000 was.
Yikes.
And that was a smaller night. So just, little things like that you wouldn't think are now like an actual promotion. So that's cool. I'm trying to think of some other ones. We're going to announce our Sunday thing soon. The Nick Singleton bobblehead's going over real well. Kids like that.
Yeah, that should be another good one.
Yeah, it would be great if we could have put him in the Penn State, but I know there's different rules. So he's in the Mifflin uniform, but it'll still be big. And then I'm trying to think what was the other bobble. There was one other.
Well, Shooter McGavin's a bobble.
Yeah, but I feel like there's one other giveaway one.
All right.
I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a lot going on.
Is the wrestler going to have a bobble?
He'll have a bobble. His bobble, even if you're not into it, because I didn't really. He was kind of a little bit after I stopped watching, so I know who he is, but I didn't really watch. But his bobble actually looks pretty cool. I saw a rendering the other day. It's he was sort of like a leprechaun type guy, and he let us kind of use the imaging on there, and it's a really neat a bobblehead. So that'll be a cool.
Is he
one.
Local?
No, he lives in I forget, in the middle of the country, like the middle of nowhere. I want to say like not North Dakota, but somewhere, maybe Minnesota. He lives out there, but he's very affordable, and he's willing to kind of book his own flight sort of things. It works with what we're trying to do. Some of the guys now are just very
have you announced your Italian night yet?
Yes, it is August.
It's a Wednesday night.
I'm making up the date because I don't remember. August 3rd, August 13th. It's a Wednesday night. And that one usually does well. If you buy tickets through, not even through us, if you buy them through Victor Emmanuel's, calling them or going there, anyone who buys a ticket for the picnic area that night gets a special Italian night hat. So it's sort of like a Harley hat that people collect, but you have to buy one of those picnic tickets. And I want to say it's $40, but it's $40 and you get to eat for 2.5 hours and get a hat, and there's a fireworks show. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that one's in August. There's a lot of good ones. It's just hard to remember them all offhand.
Okay. All right. And Umaine, Pennsylvania is still working with the Fightins. You're still doing your thing there on Friday nights as well, Lauren?
Yeah, so we do Friday and Sunday. So we have the Fiesta Friday games, and then we have the Bark in the Park games. So there's 5 Bark in the Park dates. They start a little bit later in this season, but our Fiesta Friday dates will start, I guess, the second Friday of the season.
I think we try to skip the opening weekend just because of all the festivities for that. And
makes sense.
When we come back that week after, maybe the end of April, I think, or middle of April.
Yep. So we have the same partnership as we had last year.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
And you just said 29 days. Does it seem like it is 29 days away? Like the season just ended. You probably feel like, right?
Yeah, man, it's a weird time. It's like a transitional time. It's like you're trying to get the last couple sales in for the stragglers that are out there, and you're trying to hit budgets and get numbers at the same time. You got to get a million tickets out and make sure everyone has their stuff. And I'm just trying to balance it all. That's why it's always last minute for me, because you could plan ahead of time, but until I feel like I'm in a really good spot, it's a great time to go to get away.
Right.
But it's also a tricky time to go and get away because everyone's contacting you. Where's my tickets? Where's this? When's this? When's that? And so I'm just trying to get as much done as I can before we actually leave.
Well, and you guys have an exhibition game this year.
Yeah, apparently we have an exhibition game a couple days before against Lakewood, which it's not nearly as crazy. It's just us maybe doing like a script run through to make sure we know what we're doing. But it doesn't sound like a big difference. But the difference between April 4th and April 14th is a whole nother world. Yeah. Just as far as getting things done. So I've been trying to get as much done as I can, and hopefully I don't forget something. But no, it'll be nice to get away before the season.
There you go. There you go. I heard that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I heard that. Mm-hmm. All right. Our Phillies are. I don't know. I want to say there are 4 wins, 6 losses in preseason action. The regulars play pretty much every other day. Yeah, they also can't go back to back.
Load management.
Little load management there.
Yeah.
My mom's got the same problem.
I'm glad you said it. Glad you said it. But the crowds down in spring training, I don't know if you guys have tuned in and caught any of it, but I mean, it just looks, and I know where we at March 5th,
yeah.
It seems later than it really is, but the crowds down there just seem enormous already.
Yeah, they do.
And I guess it's just the excitement again, they didn't do a whole.
I think it's the Eagle stuff, honestly, because, I watched kept an eye on some other games. So the Pirates put out some stuff, the Reds, different teams, obviously those teams aren't good. The teams I'm talking about aren't very good, but at the same time, those early games are usually before people get down there. I think with the Phillies, people are just excited to get warm and party, and it doesn't really matter what the reason is. So I think the Eagles winning definitely helps early games, because those Pirates games and even some of those Yankees games that are earlier in the day, they're not always full.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason.
Yeah. It just seems like the excitement is there. We're going to pick up, hopefully where we left off with hopefully better results. I know WIP had Bryce. They had Trey Turner on first, and then they had Bryce, and they were interviewing both those guys and picking their brain. And, they're excited, that they're tweaking the lineup a little bit and moving some guys around. So I guess we'll see if that really plays out. Right, John?
Yeah. Well, they were talking about that, and I think Rob Thompson was on there, and we said, well, we're seeing how it works out right at the moment. We're experimenting with it when they interviewed him today during the game, and which kind of led me that it may not. It's a spring training thing. I don't know. I don't know when, like we were talking about the other day. I don't know that it's going to be that way on opening day. Maybe they do an opening day and see how it goes, but I can see a quick hook and going back to the way things were.
Well, I know it's spring training, but and I haven't been paying attention very much because it's been crazy. But the games that they've lost, it's spring training, doesn't really matter. But the games they lost, it seems that they're not hitting. Is it still the same problem?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing. Like, hey, if they're losing or whatever, but they're hanging in there and hitting is one thing. But if everyone's striking out again, it's not a great. Get it out of your system now, I guess. But that's just hopefully that doesn't continue, because that was their one issue last year.
I don't know. It looks like when the Phillies are batting, the wind's blowing in, and when the other team's batting, it's blowing out. But I just my opinion. I don't know if that's just from the views. But
where's our Florida guy, Joe Stinger? Joe, are you still on? I know you've been over for a couple of games. One of them was a rain out. Was a serious rain out, kind of like the rain we had today. But I was just curious what he thought, because they showed down the minor league complex, and it just looked packed. Could be just a weekend thing.
Yeah, I'm sure the weekends get more, but like you said,
sure.
It's today was a day game, and they were in what was it?
They were over in Lakeland. Yep.
So
Tigers.
It was a good crowd over there as well today. So
I
like Anthony said, I think the winning breeds excitement for a new season, and it's very busy down over there, according to Emily.
Well, that's because everybody's moving to Florida,
right? And it's just a. I don't know. I think it's going to be another year. We know what we got. I just didn't like some of the approaches you saw. Bohm the other day grounded out.
Yeah, it looked like the same old guy, right?
Right, swinging into the first pitch, grounding out the second or shortstop, and then they had a double play, and he grounded into a double play on another one, and he was just jogging down the first base, and I mean, fortunately, I forget who they were playing. They messed up the relay or the switch, the turn at second base, and he was safe. But I mean, it was just a bad look, for him running down the line and like.
But he had a couple of home runs a day or two before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
is he still the guy that's his spot? That's where he's at. That's kind of where it is. There's no other.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's no pressure there for him. They're not, I'm sure if Harper was to get hurt or needed a day off or whatever, they'd probably push him over there, but he seems to be playing a lot in spring training. Wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's more so than others because he's going on some of the road trips.
Him and Stott,
right?
Him
and both of them need with Marsh as well. I mean, the three of them they need to. The daycare's got to step up and get out of the daycare. It's time to graduate. And become the players that you think you are. And we hope that they will be.
Yeah. I saw yesterday that Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford were both sent back to their minor league, teams. So, they're thinning out the clubhouse, and I'm sure they'll start to breathe heavy on these guys and get 5-6 innings out of them.
Exactly.
Not too long.
What's the latest Painter update? Anything on him?
I haven't seen or heard that he's even picked up a ball and thrown in any kind of other than a bullpen. That's about it.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask, because I felt like, I understood he had the whole year it took him to, but I thought it was like, you didn't think he's going to make the team right away or something like that, but
well, that's the way it appears. It appears that he's probably going to go to AAA for the first 2-3 months, right, John?
Yeah, I mean that's what they were talking. Their plan is that he's going to go there, and he's not even going to pitch much there. They're saving his as far as in game type of pitching, they're saving his arm for later on.
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah,
I just can't fathom that.
Because he doesn't like we've been saying. He's only pitched in 24 games in pro baseball before he got hurt, and he's not stretched out. So
his whole time in Reading was quick. I mean, it was really hard to get an evaluation, and then you're just going to put him without playing for a year. You're going to put him in AAA, and then if he pitches some bullpen, then you're going to put him in the major leagues. I mean, that's a pretty big jump for a guy.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, because like you said, he went through Clearwater, Jersey Shore, and then Reading all in that 1 year there when he pitched in those 24 games, and he never faced a team a second time. So it's like. He dominated because he's got good stuff, but once you start coming up to the major leagues, I mean, you see how guys get exposed a little bit, even if they have talent, and then coming off the Tommy John, it's a little bit different thing. So yeah, they don't want him to pitch, and you probably won't see him until July, August.
I think when he was in Reading, I know it's a couple of years ago. My recollection might not be great, but I feel like I only saw him for like a few days to a week, like I feel like is what I saw him on the team.
Yeah, no, because he came up late and it was it. He didn't pitch much, and then that next year he went to spring training, and the first inning he pitched and he blew out his arm, going against major league pitching or hitters. So, it's just he's one of those guys you got to watch out for, but only because he hasn't pitched much, and he's still young. He's not stretched out. All you keep hearing is you guys stretch these guys out, but now you want to rush him up to the major leagues.
That's a weird story right there.
Right. It's just like he's as talented as he's supposed to be, and you're going to rush him up and put him into the most high leverage down the stretch of the season. If you pitch him in August and in October. For the playoffs type of thing. it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's just
Shawnee agrees. It was a quick move to send the 2 young guys back, but they can call them up just about any day,
right,
to play. So, I mean, that's not that big of a deal. But they got guys. There's a couple spots that I mean, I saw Buddy Kennedy hit a 3-run bomb today.
Yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah, he hit another one today, which was nice.
I mean, Cody Clemens is certainly he's doing it. He's doing his thing to try to make this squad.
Right.
So they're going to have a few tough decisions, and then I guess whoever doesn't make the big squad's going to go up to AAA, I would think.
Exactly.
What's the talk in Reading? Is there any talk about Aiden Miller or Justin Crawford going back to Reading?
It's funny. We never find out. Obviously, there's always rumors this or that, but we literally don't find out who's on our team to a few 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is at the most.
The bus pulls up.
we know right before they get here, and then they have to quickly find housing, all that stuff, and then it's media day, and then that'll be earlier this year, and then there's an exhibition game. So I have no idea. If I had to guess, I would guess Aiden Miller would be with us. I mean, he was only with us kind of a short time anyway. Crawford, I guess there's a chance they could put him in AAA, but he also wasn't with us the whole year. So maybe they both start with us, and then Crawford eventually goes up to AAA, or maybe Crawford goes there. I imagine Miller would be with us if I had to guess, but I also have no idea. The AAA is usually a lot of times like a holding tank, so I don't know who they already have. If so and so doesn't make the team, that might be a stacked lineup because there's nowhere to go on the fills. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you're going to want them to play.
You want them to play every day.
Yeah. And it was interesting. Is that Raconis? Is that
Racone Jr.
Yeah, the kid's having a good spring. He's still up there.
Wasn't he like a 3rd-round pick or something?
I knew he was up there a little higher. I don't know.
Yeah, he was a top. He's a pretty good-looking ball player.
He's been running.
Yeah, he did well with us. Yeah.
I feel like that's a name he's been with you guys for a couple of years now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's taking that step, and even Schwarber, made a comment about him that which he's catching the big club guys' eyes.
Well, too, you've got some guys that are running out of options as well.
Right.
I'm sure they're trying to get a good look at some of these guys. Marchand, the catcher, he's out of options. He can't go back.
Exactly.
So, there's going to be maybe some hurt feelings. Who knows?
So is there any actual positions that are up for grabs, or is everything solidified at this point?
I think I don't know that there is a spot open. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I don't think as far as the starters. I mean, you got your bench couple guys because at least to start the season, they're saying they're going to give Brandon Marsh the center field spot, and what's the guy that just hit the home run yesterday?
Max Kepler.
Yeah, Kepler. Kepler is going to play left field to start the season.
Right.
And with Castellanos and right. Max Kepler.
Yeah, I've never even heard that name.
Yeah, they signed him as a free agent from Minnesota. He'd been with Minnesota his whole career.
I mean, he had 6 home runs last year. I mean, he was a decent player for a little while.
They got Sosa playing out in left field today.
Right, and then there's talks about JT playing out there as well. So.
Yeah, there's a mishmash of things, but I don't think there's really anything open. I think if you had to pencil in a lineup, for tomorrow, you'd see all the familiar faces.
I wonder if you get to the going ahead of myself here, but I wonder if you get to the summertime and they're still hanging in there like they always are. They're going to make the playoffs, but there's still a lot of games where they're striking out, whatever. Do they go and do something at that point? Like, they didn't do anything in the offseason, so are they going to Are they going to roll that same team in the playoffs again?
Who can who could you move? I mean,
sometimes you got to move. You got to make a move to get someone. You have to. I mean, they're going to have to perform.
I think the question was answered in the offseason that there really weren't many takers for Alec Boehm.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Off of this team, who you're going to move, it'll be Max Kepler, potentially, a Brandon Marsh.
JT would get picked up by somebody.
Well,
you
right.
know what I mean? Because he's in the last year of his deal, but are you ready to, relax on him? I mean,
and you don't have another catcher that you can
rely
on.
So
league, so you're gonna have to extend him. And then it's Marsh. I mean, it's Stott and Bohm. You're not trading Turner just because of the contract.
Schwarber's in the last year of his deal. JT's in the last year of his deal. Who else? Who else has 1 year left?
Yeah, I mean, maybe their plan is to ride it out with those guys, and then hopefully they win this year with the guys they have.
I believe that. I honestly do believe that.
And then next year, when those guys aren't there, you can fix it. But you got to go get a catcher. I mean, your catcher can't be the backup catcher going forward. I mean, that they don't really have one at the minor leagues that I can think of offhand.
No, they don't. I mean, the best prospect they got is the 18-year-old. So he's a few years away, they were saying. So, I mean, Marchand's nice, and he played well when he came up last year, but he never can stay healthy. So, it's one of those things. If he could stay healthy and you get him a good year, maybe he's a guy that can do something. But because he showed a little bit of pop when he was up here, in a couple of bats. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at your fourth or fifth guy on the bench is where it comes down to. And Raconis might be a guy that might take a spot if he continues to go well and does things, and because they just need somebody with a little bit of pop off the bench. And
so I even saw a tweet from Todd Zalecki, I think it was today or yesterday, that I guess Bryce Harper said he would move back to the outfield if the Phillies had a chance to sign a big slugging first baseman, were his words.
It's funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in another world, but do those guys exist anymore? I mean, I don't feel like maybe
nobody wanted the polar bear from the Mets.
Well, first of all,
you got my guy, Rhys Hoskins.
Well, I mean, I felt like that was a little bit of a dig at Rhys, to come out and say that.
He had 6 home runs last year too, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying.
He had about 17 or 20.
Oh.
Well,
I just thought that was an interesting comment.
I'm just saying
he's the piece that you're missing.
The days of the Prince Fielders seem to be gone. Like, where are those guys that just, Ryan Howard, Prince Fielder, where are those guys that just knock it out in 2 seconds? I don't think that exists anymore.
No, but it's Bryce. Right, it's funny how Bryce is saying it now, because he didn't say that last year when he had the chance to keep Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much said, no, I'll take first base, and that was the nail in the coffin for Hoskins. Yeah. And then to say that this year leads me to believe that he either didn't think that Hoskins, was the guy for the job, or if all of a sudden, the tides have changed. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I guess he thinks that maybe he's healthier, that he could throw, because he wasn't able to throw last year, even at first base. So
right,
type of thing. And sometimes Bryce says stuff just to say stuff.
I would love to know. I would love to know who that first baseman is. Bryce, please tell me what first baseman you're referring to, because I don't even know who he's talking about.
He might be terrible at first base, but you're missing that bat.
That's how he tore up his knee, right? Trying to shag a ball.
Yeah, a ground ball in right field. Yep. But yeah, I mean it's
all right.
It's interesting, but like I said, I mean he's the right-handed bat that you're missing, over here, and we would all like to see Bohm become that guy, but he was doing that a little bit.
He had such a great first half.
Exactly.
I keep going back to that. Yeah. He had such a great first half, and then the All-Star game bit him in the ass, and the home run derby and an injury, and before you know it,
yeah,
that was the best part of Rhys, was his wife buying beers. I think they're with child now, right? Do I have that correct? Didn't they have a baby, Lauren?
I believe I heard that. Yes, I think it was fairly under wraps until the kid was actually here, but I think that's correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we were all Rhys fans. I was as well. I kid about it a lot, but I got I got to like him a lot, and I thought he was going to stay here forever. So, But I thought the same thing about Derek Hall, and he's now on the other side of the state. What's the update? You've been following him? You've been tracking him?
I just asked Lauren because I haven't got a chance to watch any really, but she said he hit a home run the other day. I'm just hoping he's doing enough that he's going to make the team I imagine he's going to make the team. I'm hoping he makes the team as a starting first baseman, but I don't really.
I don't know that he's like setting the world on fire.
That's the problem. Yeah. Like if he was hitting 100 home runs, then he's not really making the case for himself. Now that it's relatively early, so he can go on a tear at any point. But that position is a position that is wide open, and that's probably the only team that I can think of, maybe one or two other teams, that you can be the starting first baseman.
But I will say, in the lineup the other day, as if he would have been the starting first baseman, because it was like Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, all those big name guys, and he was in there. Yeah,
I guess the problem with that position is it's not locked up, because the other rumor for years, just like the Phillies have, is that Brian Reynolds could then play first base, and then you get a different outfielder, so that he doesn't have to run around out there. And then when you get to a point like that, then there's not really room for Derek Hall. So if you're Derek,
but didn't Brian Reynolds say he didn't want to move? Didn't I read that somewhere?
Yeah, but he's
he also says some things too.
Yeah, and he's played there. I've seen him on the fields there. I don't know that he wants to, but I think if he had to, that he would for the team. But I just wish Reese was hitting 10 home runs already, and then it wouldn't be Derek hit 10 home runs already, and then it'd be locked up. But
where is Carlos De La Cruz at?
The Nationals.
Yeah, Washington.
Is he doing anything?
I have not followed him. I'm embarrassed to say, because he was another one of the guys that I had high hopes for. But losing him and Derek at the same time. I mean, I don't know. You just keep our fingers crossed and hope they both have good seasons. With the Pirates, that first baseman that they signed, he just had wrist surgery.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Did I read that?
It was a very odd situation. So they signed him from Toronto, and they said he passed all his physicals. And then maybe right before spring training started, it was like media day out there, and the general manager said he has an injury, and so the media was pressing him, and he said the injury was not from something that he did or something that was. He said, "How did he pass the physical and then he's hurt?" And he didn't. He said, well, he says he didn't do anything, and he woke up and it hurt. And
he definitely did something.
I don't know, but they can't prove it. So, by the way, Spencer Horwitz, he's an okay player. He's okay, but he's not like the greatest player.
Is he like a Max Kepler that I'm learning for the first time?
Sure. No, I mean, no.
Well, here's the thing for you, because this just popped to my head because you were asking about first baseman. Well, how about Paul Goldschmidt? He's now with the Yankees. He's the first baseman for the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
They got him in the offseason. All that guy does is hit 30, 35 home runs every year.
How old is he now?
103.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be. Back when I worked for Cole.
Yeah, he's pushing mid-30s,
Yeah, I mean, I knew that name, and that I worked for Cole, 10 years ago at this point, and he was relevant then. So, I mean, he's got to be, 85.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I mean, he looks it. I mean, but yeah, he hit a home run. He hit a home run last night, the other day against the Phils.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
But
all right,
sign him up.
Yeah. No, it's just it's just one of those things. It's just I don't know. You move Bryce to the outfield. I don't know that I don't know, because I don't know that they're spending the money. Type of thing.
Well, not right now, because I think the crazy money, that windfall of cash, kind of went away. So
right, yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't think if you wanted to make a splash and Bryce wanted to move back to right field, all you had to do was put Nick in left and sign the polar bear from the Mets, and that would have shook up that division real fast.
Nope, absolutely.
That would have shook up that division in a hurry,
yeah.
If you make a move like that. But I I don't think they're spending any more money. I think that's pure and simple because, what did Max Kepler get? A $10 million 1-year contract?
Yeah, a one-year deal, with a little bit of money.
Doesn't seem to be a whole lot there. We haven't had one for a while, and I don't know that there's one inside you right now, John, but are we missing a rant? Is there a rant?
I think John's always ready to rant.
Well, I'm always ready.
Is there a rant to be had?
Ooh, there's definitely a rant to be had.
And Lauren, you're up next. So
okay.
Oh, there's definitely a rant.
Oh,
all right. Well, you know what? Let's have some fun.
All right. Sixers time, baby. You know it was coming. You know it was coming. This Sixers team is the absolute joke. Absolute joke. You got Embiid. We knew this 6 months ago. We've been talking about it all season. He needs to get fixed, and they've been jerking us around.
They're going to fix him.
Well, they're not even having to have surgery right now. I mean, get this damn surgery and get him fixed. He's at 34 years old, 35 years old. He's not getting any younger. I don't know. He's whatever he is. He's early 30s. Doesn't
30.
matter. He's 30, but he's slower than me.
He's a hard 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a rough 30, but he's 30.
Yeah, he's 30, but he looks like he's 60. And he's not getting any younger. I mean,
obviously.
We obviously wasted. Well, you're not going to get those knees fixed. You've seen the best of us that we're going to see out of Joel Embiid. It's unbelievable. Paul George was another joke of a signing to get him. I mean,
it's his rant.
I know.
You have to wait.
I know, but it just seems like they get all these old guys. I gotta say, they just get all these old guys. Like, how
well, that's the problem because you sign Paul George and you got Embiid to these max contracts. This is what you're going to be living with the next 5 years. Under him because you're going to get all these guys on 1-year deals that you're going to hope that are going to have a miracle season. And for us, it's always a miracle season is that they shit the bed. It's just. And we're never going to see anything good out of this team. And the worst part about it is you're wasting whatever good seasons you have out of Maxey. And
he's hurt again.
Well, yeah, right. He fell and hurt. He hurt his back, and
Yep.
So it's just a matter of shutting this team down, and because you're gonna watch. They're gonna end up winning 5-6 more games this season. And they're going to end up being 7th or 8th, and we're going to lose our first-round pick this year to even get ourselves any better. And Oklahoma City is going to get the next Wemby or Michael Jordan coming out of the draft with our pick.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's just it's I don't know. It's so frustrating.
All right.
If you remember, I was the one hoping.
I don't like grading your rants, but that I thought the buildup would have been a lot more than that.
I know.
I think he's just saying they stink. They're unfixable.
The last time you went on a really serious rant, I mean, you had the coach of the Eagles' testicles on Howie's desk.
I know.
I mean, that was a serious rant.
I know, but it's raining out today. My head's not a whole.
It worked, though. It worked. He was listening.
Yeah, he listened. And we got a Super Bowl.
Oh, trust me. Anthony, what were you going to say? Because you were ready to jump in and your partner cut you off.
It's just a sad state because normally we get off the show, we turn on the Sixers if they were on.
Right.
We would watch, even if it was in the background, it would be on for a couple of years, just about every time that they're on, as long as we had nothing going on. And I don't think we've watched more than 5 minutes total. I mean, you'll see it and then you turn it on and they're down 1 million and you turn. It's like the Flyers were a couple of years ago. You don't want to watch it because it's not.
But the other night they were down 50 to some schmo team.
To the Bulls.
Yeah, they
were down, to the Bulls.
They were down 50. I was like, this is pathetic.
Well, the problem with them is I think they're still selling. I know the other day, there were discounted tickets I get because people are putting
$2.
$2, exactly.
$2 tickets.
But what I'm saying is they still have tickets sold for this year because they had Paul George and Embiid.
Parking's 35, but tickets are $2.
35.
So the thing is, like, what going forward, you have to blow it up. And I know that's people are gonna be frustrated because the process didn't work. You're gonna lose thousands of dollars in season ticket holders, but I don't think you can keep just putting out the next old guy in Embiid and thinking that something's gonna change, because eventually it's not gonna sell those tickets. People will figure it out at some point.
Yep, for sure.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's never going anywhere because Embiid's he's 50-50 whether he plays it with his record. In Philadelphia, he's played just as many games as he's set out.
Sometimes I do feel bad for him. I will say sometimes, not all the time, but I will feel bad for him because he came in. Had all these high hopes. People loved him. Everyone wanted Joel Embiid. Every show you would go to have Joel Embiid. And then, he gets hurt because he's a bigger guy. And, maybe he could do a better job conditioning. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But then you kind of feel bad for him because he went from an MVP to not even playing so quickly. I mean, he was like a rocket, and then it just fizzled out a little bit.
How many games has he played, John? You love this stat.
It's like half, right?
Well, this year he's only played like 6, 12. I mean, like, seriously. I mean, it's like under 20 games he's played this year.
No, but that graphic that you were talking about a couple of weeks ago, John, is like
it was
like 400 games. He's played 200 games.
Yeah, well, it was 400. I think it was like 450 whether he missed or played, and 406 that he was the other way around. So I mean, it's like
that's just unacceptable,
right? I mean, and like you said, it's and you give him an extension, which is the worst part about the whole thing. Is like, and the whole thing is like, it's all about him. Like, so I feel bad sometimes. You're right because he does get hurt, and it's not his fault that he gets hurt. But
it might be.
Well, true. Some of it is, but why go to the Olympics? Like you forced yourself to go to the Olympics to get yourself a gold medal that you didn't even play in. Other than
he got his ring the other night, though. Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. He had a big ass smile on his face and everything. Like, come on, dude. Yeah.
I mean, he went because he could, and of course they were going to win the gold medal. Who else was going to go up against those guys?
Yeah, right. Yep. And the thing was, it's just like he didn't have a chance to do therapy and get himself prepared for the season because he was doing all that, and then he was playing, so you had all the wear and tear from the playing practices and that kind of stuff, and I don't know. He
reminds me of those like quarterbacks in college or something, and they got a lot of potential at high school.
Yeah,
but they're always like a chubby guy, and they can never lose the weight or stop eating properly. Like that's him. I feel like he's eating too many somethings and not going to the gym as much, and he's kind of. If he wasn't as tall as he was and big as he was, he would not.
Well, you can't control that.
No, I'm saying if he wasn't that, he would never be. I mean, he's lucky he has that because he's not. He doesn't seem very disciplined compared to other players.
Well, that's exactly it. You're right with the discipline.
Let's move off of John's rant. Work on that for us. You got some time.
I will, but I'm also in a good mood because of the Eagles and everything like that.
No, you're just in a good mood because I'm leaving town. That's the only damn reason you're in a good mood.
Well, yeah,
you don't have to put up with me.
That's like icing on the cake.
Well, but I mean, we're everything's going rosy in Philadelphia. Other than that, if you tune out the Sixers and Flyers.
Whoa, easy.
Well, I know, but I mean, but I think the Flyers are. I think the Flyers are going to be, doing some good things. Trade deadlines Friday. It's they're just a couple years away.
They're gonna end up pissing me off because they're gonna trade one of my guys, Scotty Lawton, who I really really like. I have for years, and he's their number one guy to move.
Right. Oh yeah.
Makes no sense. But anyway, Lauren, what do you got for us?
All right. Of all the players that you've met, and it doesn't even have to be somebody that's come into the store. This can be anyone. Who has made you the most overwhelmed? So during signings, we see a lot of people come in, they're crying, they're shaking, they can barely even talk to the guy. Who has been your player like that, where you got really overwhelmed, really excited to meet them?
I don't know.
And it can only be one. It can only be one player.
This might sound a little weird, but we had Cliff Lee in the store twice. And we all know he was quite the character, but he was just he was really good. He was good with us. He was good with the public. Both were,
So really, you were like nervous to meet him.
Well, because, he came, he wasn't Philly. You know what I mean? He came, where'd he come from? Cleveland in a trade.
Yeah.
I was semi active in getting him a car deal when I was working with Vidian, and got him a Jeep deal because, the agent kind of was like, well, I'll bring him to the store, but you got to get him a car deal.
Right.
So that was kind of, a little wacky in itself,
Right.
And I spoke to Steve Vidian myself, and he's like, well, what's in it for you? And I'm like, well, the agent told me if I get him this car deal, he'll let him come to the store and sign autographs. He goes, all right, well, that's going to be part of the contract then if I put him in a car. So I just thought that whole thing was kind of neat, and and we had him back a second time, and there he was. He was down the street. I forget the name of the pizza joint at the time. It wasn't Tony Roney's. It was another pizza joint, and he was having pizza with his son, and he called up to the store. He's like, I know I'm early, but can I come up and get started? Because it's just me and my kids sitting down here eating pizza, and nobody even recognized him.
Right.
So I just thought, and he was a quirky kind of guy, but I saw him in spring training, and, we rekindled, our conversation from the store, and, that sticks out still in my brain today.
Is he the guy who lost his check?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That was a Steve story.
Right.
That was a Steve story because Steve's boss's wife and Cliff's wife went to college together, so they were tight. We found all that out in the loop-de-loop story.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Johnny, who you got?
I don't get too nervous in front of the players too much.
Okay.
But I think if I have to say one, maybe Roy Halladay.
Okay, so you met him in person.
Yeah, and he was, but like 2 seconds later, he was like the nicest guy. Like he was talking to you like he knew you forever,
Right.
And so then it like puts you at ease, and then it wasn't a big deal. But just his aura when he first got here to Philadelphia, that the greatness of him, and that we were able to have him here. And just the way he was so humble, it was,
that's a good one, Johnny.
Just to, just cause like, I wanted him to get him to sign a Hall of Fame baseball. And he's like, I can't do it, just because, you just want to do it.
Right.
Cause he didn't want to jinx it, or whatever, type of thing. And,
right.
That was the only thing, didn't get that from him, which was fine, but it was just, and you understand it, type of thing. But it was just the way he, he was just so down to earth, you see him, and being as much of a competitor as he was on the diamond, yelling and getting angry and frustrated at times, and then just to be able to talk to you, like I said, like you knew him for a lifetime.
Okay. Tony?
I was trying to think of it, and I was going through my mind, and I don't, there was some enjoyable experiences like Bill Mazeroski and Kent Colby, but nervous. I had to go back to like the Reading Philly stuff, and the only time I remember being nervous to meet someone is when we went to the airport to pick up Scott Hall from the airport. Now we kind of took a little quick backstory. We took a kind of a chance on Scott because he was sort of had some not great things happen in his life. And so we were the first sort of people that took a chance to book him. And you had just heard a lot of, negative things and things like that. And I loved this guy growing up, like since I was a little kid. So I remember we going to the airport to pick him up. And then we, John Nally, who works with me, and myself went in to pick him up, and he's walking down. He's, I mean, just a huge man. And I had driven, and I said, John, I don't think I could drive. I think you need to drive, because I just wanted to talk to him, and I didn't feel like I could pay attention at that point. I was just overwhelmed. So John drove, and long story short, we spent the whole weekend with him. I drove him to State College after it was over because he had another appearance.
But you drove down in your car to pick him up, right?
Yeah.
And what was your car?
Honda Civic.
So
I knew where you were going.
You put Scott Hall in a Honda Civic.
When we drove to State College, it was to drive him back. It was myself and Matt Jackson, who was in the back of a Honda Civic. Yes.
Right.
I think we might have used John Nally's car to SUV to get there.
Got it.
And he said I could drive it, but then I couldn't drive it.
And then didn't you go to the Applebee's here with him too? With Scott Hall? Or am I mixing up stories?
No. Scott didn't like to stay by himself at night. I think he liked the idea of being in the ring when he was sort of in front of everybody, but I think he got really depressed when he was by himself. So he'd like to try to stay out as late as he could to not have to
go home.
Sort of feel like that. And but anyway, the whole point was it was just very nervous, and he was just going into it. You heard a lot of negative stories, and I can't speak for anyone else, but he was fantastic for us. He went on radio shows, and we went and had lunch, and he was just a great person. So I'm sure there were bad experiences, but we had a really nice one that you'll remember. But that's the only time I remember being like nervous. I mean, meeting a lot of the other players was great experiences, but I don't remember getting that nervous before.
Okay. Mine is a super easy one, and it's the only time in my life where I actually was overwhelmed, and it wasn't until I was standing in front of him, but it was Doug Peterson, and he was at he was in Canton for the Football Hall of Fame, because I think he was probably there for like Dick Vermeil going in, but I'm sure he probably goes, all the time. But I don't know, Dad, if it was you who spotted him or if it was me or how that happened, but we juked everybody out and weaseled our way down there. And the next thing I know, he's just standing in front of us. Yep. And he sort of turns around. And for me, it was the guy responsible for bringing the first Super Bowl to Philadelphia. And we were just a year or two shy off of that. I forget when it was exactly, maybe a little bit longer, but I don't know. He doesn't do many autograph signings. He's not really out in the public very often. So, there he is standing in front of me. And I remember having trouble getting my words out. And I think I said something to the effect of it's an honor to meet you. And Dad, even afterwards, we walked away and you're like, it's an honor to meet you. When do you ever say that to a guy? And I didn't know what to, it just kind of came out because it was truly, that was the case.
Yeah, he was very humble. He was very
absolutely. I mean, he sort of looked at me like, okay, thanks. When I said that. And, I've met thousands of players at this point, and it's kind of become second nature, in a weird sort of way. But I remember that feeling and that emotion. And even when you look at the photo that we took, I can personally see it, but I can see it in my face, how just sort of starstruck I am. So
nervous.
That's an easy one for me.
It was a good trip. It has a lot of great memories, that trip. That was a great trip.
Dad, I really thought yours was going to be Gordie Howe.
Mom said the same thing, Gordie Howe, but I just, to be honest with you, I've got some sad memories of him because of the way he died, and he was supposed to come back to the store with his two sons, and he wasn't able to do that, and I just I hate I hate thinking about that. Okay. You know what I mean? But he was great in the store, and thank God Mark was with him, because I don't know if we'd have been able to handle him, by ourselves.
Right.
Because he, that's all he kept saying. That's my son, Mark. That's my son, Mark. The whole everybody, that he signed for. But no, that was a very, very good one. But I just thought the whole Cliff Lee thing was just a little, little weird, little wacky, little, off the cuff kind of thing that, I was nervous to begin with all the pieces that were in play, right? The agent, Steve Vidian, Cliff, and then, having him back a second time. But anyway, Roy Halladay, how about our experience down at photo day with you, me, and Mom, and I'm flipping this baseball, John, right? I'm flipping the baseball. We were told a million times,
no autograph.
Don't ask for an autograph. Don't ask for an autograph. I kept flipping this baseball thinking, he's just going to snatch it and sign it.
And he didn't. He held it in the photo. He held it and he gave it back to you.
Yep. So close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
so close.
Yeah, I mean, he was, baseball royalty. I mean, it was
right.
Oh yeah.
As well. I mean, it's just
again, sad story for him to die the way he died, and we've got all these great memories of winning baseball games and championships, and division titles, and World Series this and World Series that, and and then Cliff Lee loses the game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my cousin and I, we were there for his no-hitter with Cincinnati in the playoff game. And, Ruiz making the big play at the end of the game. And, it still gives you goosebumps, thinking about it. And, like you said, just definitely lost way too early, for him, for sure.
All right. Great show.
Yeah,
we almost crushed, some extra time.
We did crush some extra time. 22 minutes of it.
Well, thanks everybody who joined in tonight. It was it was great to have this little back and forth. We will be at Buffalo Wild Wings next Wednesday with Dickie Knowles and Mill Thompson. Yes, Joe Stinger, we will see you in Clearwater. Hopefully that Saturday, the 15th. I don't know whether you're going to that game or not, but hopefully we will see you then. That's our first game. What else we got? We got defensive coordinator Vic Fangio coming out to the store this Sunday. I'm pretty stoked about that one. I love these old timers. I had to pull the Wikipedia page out on him. I forgot he was a coach on the Philadelphia Stars football team.
Oh yeah.
He's a Pennsylvania guy. What's the name of his town? Dunmore, PA, I believe it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's up in the mountain, Scranton area, wasn't it? Scranton, right?
Yeah. So, so I'm really looking forward to that. And don't forget, pass the word. The time has changed. We've pushed it back an hour because
daylight savings time.
We lose an hour, so I'm pushing it back an hour. How about that? I'll go with that.
I like that.
I'll go with that. So that is from 2 to 4 on Sunday.
Yep.
So
he called me today to make sure he's got everything all lined up.
He called you?
Mm-hmm.
How was he?
Great. He was great on the phone. Yeah. He's got a Houston, Texas phone number, though. So I
saw that, like a 75 something or other, because he called the store originally looking for you.
Right. And I had to explain that, although it feels like a full-time gig, it's not, and that I do something, something different. So, yeah. He doesn't understand what that means, but yeah, it was good. No,
it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right, Johnny, you got the day off tomorrow. Enjoy your day off.
Absolutely.
I will be solo in the store tomorrow, so we'll shut this one down and we'll be back. I didn't realize I got to do 2 shows in Clearwater. I forgot about the second one.
That's right.
Wowzer.
Don't get nervous now.
I know, right? I just did.
I know.
I just did. Well, hopefully Wally can hook us up for the first one at Coco's. Looking forward to that. If not there, we'll find a spot.
Yeah.
We will find a spot. So, all right, Joe Stinger, I will see you on Saturday the 15th.
Sounds good.
Everybody else, thank you. Guys, thank you. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. See you later.
Bye.